You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero, the history the government hopes you never learn. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
Welcome to our show today. It is Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, and a lot of things are happening. Mike is in our control room, twiddling the dials, keeping us out of trouble. As usual, we are going to do news until we run out of news, and then we'll open up the phone lines. It may be a while. There's a lot to go through this morning, or this afternoon rather, and I don't know when we're going to open the phones, probably sometime in hour number 2. Okay, well, obviously the big news is Trump is out, Biden is in, and apparently Joe attended Mass in the morning with Nancy and Mitch, and apparently watched J-Lo and Lady Gaga sing before his swearing in, and then he delivered his inaugural address. So they've gone through all the motions here. And apparently the inaugural theme is America United, trying to restore the soul of America, bring the nation together, and create a path to a brighter future, none of which is really achievable when you look at the events of the past few months here. So we have here we're being told the most popular president in history was inaugurated in secret behind giant walls guarded by thousands of soldiers. He actually took the oath of office 11 minutes early, and again, part of the security. And Biden had maybe 2,000 people show up at the inauguration against the 25,000 military, just like they do in your average banana republic. And so obviously the elites are very much afraid of the American people right now, because we know what they did. We know how they did it pretty much. Anyway, Biden is immediately tearing up Trump's legacy. He's issuing a whole slew of executive orders. He's issued one to stop building the border wall. He's ordering a federal mask mandate. Now, executive orders don't apply to ordinary citizens, but he has signed an executive order that face masks must be worn on all federal properties. Other things he's doing, he's scrapping the Muslim ban. He's going to rejoin the Paris Accord and dissolve the anti-woke 1776 Commission. This is the commission that is trying to restore the teaching of America's early history back to our school system. But the woke crowd really doesn't like that, and Joe is basically going to tear that out. Now, interestingly enough, Trump's last act out the door was to have deep state awareness taught in the schools. Pardon me. And as one of its final acts before Biden pulls the plug, the 1776 Commission released a report on the state of American education. And, it's basically described as a rebuttal to the New York Times 1619 Project and other historical accounts that take a critical view of the country's earliest days, judging the actions of the founding fathers by the morals and standards of today, which is completely unrealistic. Would you like your life today to be judged by whatever standards are in existence 200 years from now? Of course not. You have no idea what those standards are going to be here. So they released the 1776 report on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and was developed in response to Trump's call to promote patriotic education in schools. And Trump, of course, last night did his farewell speech, and apparently not a lot of the corporate media carried it. Fox carried it as a replay and didn't play the whole thing. But one comment he made in that speech is, the movement we started is only just beginning. And I think he may very well be correct on that one, although we're certainly seeing the liberal Democrats acting like they've got to crush the movement out merely to survive here. Now, Mary Trump is predicting a grim future for Donald as he leaves the White House to face these mounting costly lawsuits and a loss of relevance. And yeah, it's Harry Truman used to say, it's heck to find work when you've been the president. And out in Hollywood, and things like this make me glad I'm no longer in that industry here. Apparently, with Biden's inauguration, Hollywood celebrities just went wacko on social media with all kinds of nasty, hateful comments about Trump. And this included people like Michael Moore, Billy Eichner, Chelsea Handler, Bette Midler, Jeffrey Wright, and I'm sure that quite a few other people got out there, and they were using profanity and basically saying, blank Trump, blank his whole family, blank anyone who chose to work with him, and blank every single Trump voter. This from Billy Eichner. And Rosanna Arquette said, "This is the last inauguration I refuse to watch. This one I'm excited for." So Michael Moore is out there saying, "We've dreamed and prayed for this day." So they're out there just having a real good party. No dignity whatsoever. And it sort of tells you what kind of state of mind these celebrities are in, which very much fits in with their liberalism here. Hillary Clinton is still going on and on about how she lost to Trump in 2016 and how Vladimir Putin ordered the riot at the Capitol building back on the 6th. She won't let go of that. Now, Tucker Carlson's out there with a video, and, everybody's saying hardly anybody showed up. Why did they need 25,000 military on the streets of Washington, D.C.? Tucker Carlson says that the Democrats were using that huge military force, more than soldiers than we have in Iraq and Afghanistan combined, to send a message to America not to oppose them. The power message. In the final hours of his presidency, Donald Trump has issued a long list of pardons and commutations, 143. And Trump is already being slammed for failing to pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Now, Trump pardoned Lil Wayne, Steve Bannon, but not himself. Mitch McConnell apparently threatened President Trump, saying that if he pardons Julian Assange, we are much more likely to convict you in an impeachment trial. So despite the fact Trump is now out of office, they're still going ahead with this. Complete waste of time and energy, in my opinion here. Trump has also pardoned the Israeli handler of spy Jonathan Pollard. So that's kind of an interesting one there. Now, apparently, Republican lawmakers sought pardons from Donald Trump for their role in the Capitol riot. And Trump was apparently talked out of it by lawyers who told him it would seal his impeachment trial fate. Okay. Now, speaking of impeachment trial, normally the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court would preside. But Justice Roberts is already out there saying he wants no part of the sham impeachment. They're not sure who is going to take his place, but he just wants out. He doesn't want to have anything to do with this nonsense here. Okay, now Mitch McConnell and the establishment Republicans don't want to see Trump on the ballot in 2024. And apparently he was that much of a threat to the status quo. His one major crime, he wanted to change things, in an environment where everybody loves things just the way they are right now. Now, Chuck Schumer is out there saying there will be a vote in the Senate to bar Trump from ever running again. I don't even think that's legal, least of all because it's prior restraint. Now, remember when Trump first came into office, he came on out with this campaign pledge to drain the swamp. And one of his first executive orders, signed on January 28, 2017, required Trump's political appointees to agree to a lobbying ban of 5 years, as well as pledge not to undertake work that would require them to register as a foreign agent. Well, apparently yesterday, Trump signed a one-page revocation order, and so his aides are off the hook. They can immediately go to work for the lobbying companies. All righty. Apparently, Mitch McConnell is sucking up the Democrats, and he's out there joining the crowd saying that the Capitol riot was all Trump's fault. They were fed lies, meaning told about the election fraud, and it was all Trump's fault that it happened, and it got out of hand because of failures of institutions, protocols, and planning. No, it got out of hand because it was planned to get out of hand. Bill Barr is out there saying that Trump's election fraud claims precipitated the Capitol riot. This is his first TV interview since resigning as Attorney General. And I'm sure the election fraud didn't help, but it wasn't Trump's claims about it. It was all the evidence that we saw for it, followed by the courts refusing to look at the evidence, election commissions refusing audits, basically the whole machinery working against Donald Trump. And Americans, by and large, have a strong sense of fair play. And they understand Donald Trump got cheated. Even people who don't like him are saying, yes, he got cheated on this one. Now, Sean Hannity is calling for spineless Republicans, including Mitch McConnell, to just go away. And Tucker Carlson says the Democrats are going to start a war on their own people to root out Trump supporters. They are really, really afraid. Now, one of the things that Trump did, he ordered the declassification of the Crossfire Hurricane documents over the objection, obviously, of the FBI. And the materials are just starting to come out. And to nobody's surprise, the first bit of declassification is that Christopher Steele admitted all the way back in September of 2017 that he leaked the Steele dossier in 2016 to help Hillary Clinton. Big newsflash, I know here. And another story, this is over at Blabberbuzz, saying the Steele dossier was being fanned around to distract the FBI from the email server scandal. And I guess the FBI was happy for the distraction because there was a lot of really bad stuff going on over there. All right, story coming on out of, pardon me, Hideout Now. Donald Trump is apparently discussing with his allies, forming a new political party called the Patriot Party, saying that he wants to ditch the Republicans. I don't blame him. They certainly did not stand up for him during this whole election fraud. And, he's telling his supporters his movement is just beginning. So he's going to be back one way or the other. He's going to be back unless they figure out a way to throw him in jail or simply apply the Kennedy solution to him. Story coming on out of WorldNet Daily. Tens of millions of Americans, actually hundreds of millions, remain convinced that Trump won the recent election. This is confirmed by polling. And basically, again, the Democrats blew it. They succeeded in stealing the election. And as of this morning, the steal and the coup d'etat was complete and the junta was installed, but they got caught doing it. Americans saw what they did. In other news here over at Investment Watch blog, Homeland Security has released their official document on the investigation of Hunter Biden. And it confirms Joe Biden's involvement with corrupt Russian and Chinese parties, regardless of any election fraud claims. He should not have been run as a presidential candidate. And don't forget, a lot of Democrats came out and said if they had heard of this and of Hunter's laptop with its salacious videos and pictures on it before the election, they never would have voted for him. And the corporate media did a tremendous disservice to the American people by hiding this and covering it up and saying, oh, it's Russian disinfo, it's conspiracy theories. Okay. So over at Glenn Greenwald, they're saying a new domestic war on terror is coming. And they're basically ushering in a wave of new domestic police powers and rhetoric in the name of fighting terrorism. And these are carbon copies of the worst excesses of the first war on terror that began nearly 20 years ago. And the trend is growing, it is intensifying, and it means more restrictions on your civil rights and your freedoms. Now, the former chief prosecutor at Guantanamo is calling for a domestic war on sedition. This is retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Mo Davis, and he's basically saying that GOP congressmen are more guilty than the Gitmo detainees. I mean, this is really, alarmist rhetoric here. So as I mentioned before, the Democrats are panicking. They overplayed their hand. They've torn our country apart. Very few people believing we are still a constitutional republic. The majority of the country voted to re-elect President Donald Trump, yet the Dems did coronate his fraudulency this morning to take the reins and complete the fundamental transformation of our republic into their Marxist dynasty. Democrat Representative Steve Cohen on Monday gave an indication that the Democratic traitors are concerned they may have overplayed their hand. They obviously realize the majority of the country voted for Trump. The majority of the country know they voted for Trump, and now they're wondering what they're going to do about it. And the reality is, history has shown, after a coup d'etat, there follows a dictatorship. Otherwise, the coup d'etat does not survive the circumstances of its own creation. So that's what we're going to be seeing here, I'm afraid. Let's see, another article along the same line. This from Rutherford Institute. The deep state's stealthy, subversive, silent coup to ensure nothing ever changes. And that's exactly what they've got the country exactly the way they want. The money junkies have got the country exactly the way they want. And they don't want anything to change. They don't want anybody upsetting the apple cart. And that's why they hated Trump so much. He wanted to bring about some real change. Now, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has actually called for Congress to get rid of the First Amendment to stop false information from spreading. Now, clearly, she doesn't understand how the Constitution actually works. And, Cortez failed to address under what authority Congress has the power to crack down on free speech rights. Well, they don't. That's why they're using the private social media companies to do their dirty work. So things are dark and getting darker. Paul Craig Roberts has an article out, America RIP, and he's talking about, watching America's decline into collapse. And he means not just economic collapse, but the collapse of the belief system that created some unity among the diverse population. And he says, America no longer exists. A geographical entity exists of diverse people and interests, but not a country, much less a nation. Now, Biden is considering former big tech attorneys to lead the Department of Justice's antitrust division. I mean, talk about a sellout on day number one. I mean, these are the lawyers for corporate social media that have formed a trust and are engaging in monopolistic behavior. And what Biden has done is basically guaranteed that there will never be a lawsuit against those tech giants for their abuses during the election, and the abuses which are going to continue. Now, over at band.video, they have an interesting question. Why are Biden's top 10 administrators dual citizens? And that is something that you really need to think about. Okay? One of the callers has a theory that possibly the Israeli dual citizenship is a protective shield to get them ultimate power. So Biden has issued 17 executive orders today on the border, climate, immigration, and the 100-day masking challenge. Now, of course, the corporate media has been leaking and teasing about Biden's day one actions, but apparently there's a total of 17 executive actions. At least 15 of these will be executive orders targeting a range of issues. Those 17 actions, 9 will involve reversals of Trump-era policies. So he's going on in there. Oh my goodness, how time flies when you're screaming. Got to take a break for commercials. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the Energy Cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an Energy Cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get to get an Energy Cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an Energy Cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Well, they're stealing down on Wall Street and in Washington, too. You know, it makes me wonder, what's a guy on Main Street to do? I've always tried to be an honest, upstanding kind of guy. But I must admit lately, I thought about giving something else a try. Oh, I want to be a pirate. I want to sail the seven seas, yeah, I want to be a pirate.
Welcome back to our show here. And again, a friendly reminder that Republic Broadcasting Network needs your continuing support so that we may go on giving the American people the information they need to have to make good choices, if they're ever allowed to make a choice again. So in any event, the postal address where you can send a check, money order, or if you prefer anonymity cash, is Republic Broadcasting Network, 2251 Double Creek Drive, number 302, Round Rock, Texas, 78664. The phone number where you can make a credit or debit card donation is 800-724-2719, extension 3. And of course, all this contact information is available at the top of republicbroadcasting.org. The network thanks you. Okay, getting back on to his fraudulency. I like that term here. George Galloway has an article over in Russia Today in which he says it's impossible to believe that Biden will actually be in charge. And this turns out to be a very, very common sentiment among observers. In fact, he says it's hard not to wonder if Joe will even last his first 100 days in office. And those arguing his mind isn't sound enough should expect a swift exit. But since when was that a disqualifier? I mean, Reagan, had, I forget what it was he had. Alzheimer's, I think, during most of his term. So it's, it's not exactly inspiring to the world that Biden is in the White House right now. Okay, finally, on Inauguration Day, Maricopa County officials finally agree to an audit of the voting equipment from the 2020 election. Of course, so much time has passed. Somebody could have gotten in there and replaced all the software and made it all squeaky clean here. But they delayed, for 2 months here. And this is how you know they cheated. They didn't even hide it. And if you said something, corporate social media would shut you down and deplatform you. Now, an interesting little story. This is from News 24 Trump. Apparently, there's a video that surfaced of Joe Biden admitting they know how to manipulate voting machines. Now, this was back when Biden himself was concerned about election integrity back in 2007, and he called for election reform mandating paper ballots and standardized voting machines. Of course, he doesn't have that position anymore. He loves the system that's put him in power here. Story coming on out of the Free Thought Project. If Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today, big tech would have already banned him. And they're talking about this slippery slope we're on of widespread blanket censorship policies, not just the election, not just the election fraud. Vaccine safety now is being targeted. And pardon me. They blacklisted Ron Paul, who's devoted his entire life to peace and liberty. They put him back on saying it was a mistake, but I don't believe that. And again, if they'd had this technology during the civil rights movement, they would have shut down Martin Luther King. Absolutely, because he was a threat to the system. All right. The MeWe social network has added 2.5 million new members in 1 week. And people are leaving Twitter. Users are getting fed up with relentless privacy violations, surveillance, capitalism, political bias targeting, and newsfeed manipulation by these companies. I don't think they're really going to survive that much longer unless they can succeed in crushing out the new up-and-comers, which they're probably going to get a good hand from the government itself. Which, they've hit the point. They need to control everything we are seeing, reading, hearing, and thinking. It's like the opening from the original Outer Limits, with the control voice. We will control all that you see and hear. And that's exactly where we're going. But, what's interesting, one of the things that is not being limited by Twitter is child abuse material. And apparently, according to British investigators, Twitter is responsible for almost half of the child abuse material found by investigators being hosted openly on popular tech sites, according to figures seen by The Telegraph. Now, the Internet Watch Foundation shows that 49% of the images, videos, and URL links it found on social media, search engines, and cloud services in the last 3 years were on Twitter, making up 1,396 of the total 2,835 incident found. So Twitter's okay with child abuse, And another story, this one coming out of Russian Faith, basically reminding everybody that if you are banned on Twitter, there are these Russian social networks like VK that you can go on, and they are, free speech supportive, privacy supportive. There's about 4 of them, and you can definitely go on over there. I'm on VK myself right now. We got to take another break for commercials, and we'll be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719 extension 3. 800-724-2719 extension 3.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed the newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
The newspaper? Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, a majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper does not give out the important attention on what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
Wall Street wizards on the land from a mental institution claim private retirement funds. Yeah, they are the best solution. But when the markets crash, we'll be asking where's the cash. Guess them folks in D.C. must be smoking Texas hash. Will Congress pay the piper when all the
Welcome back to our show here. We're talking about social media right now. And DuckDuckGo has reached a major milestone in its fight to topple Google. And apparently they handled more than 100 million user search queries in a single day for the first time ever. Now, DuckDuckGo was founded back in 2008, and it's gaining popularity because it respects your privacy and it doesn't do filtering. And those are very desirable features to have in a search engine. Article that came on out from Russia Today again, basically, they're talking about how the media establishment is declaring a holy war against free speech, determined to stamp out wrongthink in all of its forms. And once the bedrock of U.S. society, it faces a redefinition into something more convenient or oblivion. And the new thinking that's coming on out is if everyone is permitted to speak freely, people's lives will be put at risk. Those whose opinions diverge from the mainstream should not be permitted to voice those opinions, lest their words hurt people's feelings. And at the same time, the Ministry of Truth calls for free speech to be swept into the dustbin of history. It insists its victims' freedom of speech is not under attack at all. Now, in the last few weeks, we've had establishment outlets, New York Times, NBC, have issued calls for the very idea of freedom of speech to be rethought or scrapped altogether because it is no longer in harmony with modern society. And this is a tacit admission that the media establishment's own opinions can't compete in the free marketplace of ideas. And despite their best efforts, they can't censor their way out. In other words, they understand they have lost the war for the minds of America. And so they're going to counterattack here. Over at CNN, they have issued a guide to deprogramming MAGA supporters. And they had this cult expert on being interviewed, claiming the entire country needs post-Trump help. Yeah. And I mean, it's really, really out there. And let's see. Okay, I'm having a little technical glitch here. Now, here we are. Okay, over at Fox News Network, we've been talking recently about how they've just gone downhill. They've joined the dark side. Call them Darth Fox, I guess. And the political editor who sat on the election night decision desk has been laid off alongside 20 other Fox News staffers because the network's ratings are cratering right now. We actually don't have a corporate news media channel worth watching anymore. You know, I used to watch Fox to find out what they were lying about today. I don't even do that anymore. This next story sounds like one of these typical manufactured sting operations. Apparently, an active duty American soldier is in federal custody after he allegedly plotted with someone he thought was a member of ISIS to attack the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City. And Cole James Bridges, who's stationed at Fort Stewart, is charged with attempting to provide material support to ISIS. Now, the member of ISIS was actually an undercover FBI agent. Anyway. All right, so let's talk about COVID-19. It's still out there. It's still a problem. And interestingly enough, story coming out of Madness Hub, COVID hospitalizations drop for the 6th day, and the death rate has steadied. So Biden enters office with the post-Christmas surge still slowing, and he's beginning his race to vaccinate 100 million citizens after the U.S. hits 400,000 deaths. Now, that may not be achievable because up in Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is saying it will take 2 years just to get 70% of the state's people over 16 vaccinated at their current pace. It's not going very well here. Story coming on out of Investment Watch blog. There is already what's called a vaccination paradox surfacing. As the vaccination rate increases, more people are testing positive. So what is going on out there? And we're seeing all these cases of people, after they get the vaccine, they develop COVID-19 symptoms. That's what happened to my doctor here. So anyway, let's see. Over at IBM Meta, they have an article. Ivermectin is effective for COVID-19. Real-time meta-analysis of 35 studies. We've talked about this before. 100% of these 35 studies reported positive results. They said it was better with early treatment. And so, you know, COVID-19 can be cured. But of course, there's much more money to be made in vaccines because people who aren't sick are going to get the shot and the pharmaceutical companies get their money. Now, ivermectin is actually approved by the FDA. The vaccines for COVID-19 are not. They got fast-tracked and they got waivers. So apparently there's yet another new study that ivermectin can kill COVID-19 within 48 hours, or at least they've demonstrated that in a culture. And they basically said even a single dose could essentially remove all viral RNA by 48 hours, and that even at 24 hours, there was a significant reduction. So there is a cure, but they're not interested in the cure. Even Goldman Sachs says curing patients is a bad business model. You need them constantly sick, constantly symptomatic, and constantly needing treatment. Another health worker, this one in Portugal, has died just 2 days after she received Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. Sonia Acevedo passed away on New Year's Day after being vaccinated on December 30th. The mother of two and health worker at the Portuguese Institute of Oncology and the city of Porto did not report any adverse effect immediately following the immunization. It's going to be a repeat of 1976. The vaccine is going to kill more people than COVID does. Now, this story is just very, very alarming. It's coming from Summit News. Apparently, over in Great Britain, they're considering a plan that would force people to send selfies of themselves every single day to prove they're self-isolating. Photos which would then be cross-referenced using the GPS data and facial recognition software. And apparently, the COVID lockdown officials are looking to mirror policies introduced in New Zealand, where all new arrivals to the country are forced to check into a quarantine hotel at the airport for a period of 2 weeks. And another enforcement measure would be to copy Poland's so-called enhanced monitoring system for those who are supposed to be self-isolating. Each person is contacted once a day and told to send a selfie of themselves at the location where they are confined. Those who fail to comply within 20 minutes receive a visit from the police. Okay, interesting little article. This is from revolver.news. And I'm not seeing it yet. It's really too soon. But according to this article, now that Biden has taken office, the media and the Democrats are starting to roll back this whole lockdown hysteria. And, you've got New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's been ruling like a tyrant over New York. Now he's saying we got to get people back to work and back into the stores much more quickly. Of course, this whole lockdown thing was to encourage people to vote by mail, which is where much of the fraud used against Donald Trump occurred. Now, over in Massachusetts, the Department of Public Health has rescinded a flu vaccine mandate that would have required all children over the age of 6 months attending childcare, preschool, kindergarten, K-12, or college to get the flu vaccine by February 28th. And the reversal came on the same day the Department of Public Health was due to respond in court to a request for a preliminary injunction to prevent the mandate from being enacted. So they basically backed down on that one. So Downing Street insists Boris Johnson would have a strong relationship with any U.S. president after Mark Sedwill claims the prime minister did not want Donald Trump to win a second term, and Tories suspect number 10 is trying to win over Joe Biden. Well, I imagine there's probably a lot of that going on all over the world. The Kremlin is rejecting European Union calls for Navalny's release after he publishes a list of Russians to be sanctioned. Now, the 44-year-old opposition politician appears to be attempting to lead a one-man revolution and score settling of sorts now that he's publicizing lists of Russians who should be sanctioned if he is not released. Okay. Now, with Joe Biden, Israel has a true Zionist in the White House. Biden and his VP Kamala Harris are true supporters of a thought to be democratic and Jewish state of Israel. And, we thought Trump was giving the store away to Israel, and Biden's probably going to do a lot worse. Now, the Anthony Blinken, who is Biden's nominee for Secretary of State, backs a two-state solution in the Middle East, but rather doubts that it's going to come about. All right, let's talk about some economic news now. Boeing's stock prices continue to languish in the wake of the B737 MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019. In December of 2020, the jinxed plane was finally allowed to fly again. And they're saying the stock hasn't moved much. The article is basically saying there are issues with the U.S. duopoly plane maker. They're not doing well. It's a shame because it's one of the iconic American companies. The Biden administration is going to work to stop the Nord Stream 2 project. This also coming from Anthony Blinken. And it's a huge waste of money. I mean, everybody's already spent a lot of money on it. We were talking, I think it was on Monday, that Biden is going to yank the permit for the Keystone Pipeline, and they've already spent $9 billion on that. It's just insane. Joe Biden has issued an executive order ending the border wall construction, and apparently work continued right up to the moment Biden took the oath of office, and then everybody went home. Now, down in Guatemala, that caravan of 8,000 Honduran migrants was broken up in clashes with the border police. Some have continued on, hoping that Biden will give them U.S. asylum. But Biden has already said, no, it's not going to happen immediately. Story coming on out of National Review, migrants aren't cooperating with Biden's plans. And they're talking about this latest caravan from Central America has been stopped and dispersed by Guatemalan authorities. And more caravans will follow. Smaller groups of migrants moved north by smugglers, drawn by the Biden administration's announced determination to reverse all of Trump's border control policies and push through Congress a broad illegal alien amnesty. I am opposed to all of that here. Okay, a victory for religious freedom, and apparently there was this Health and Human Services regulation that doctors had to perform transgender surgery despite their personal feelings and religious beliefs, but apparently a federal court just struck that down. And the patients are going to have to look for a doctor sympathetic to their point of view. Now, the Democrats are wasting no time going after the guns. And down in Florida, State Senator Gary Farmer filed Senate Bill 370, which basically says prohibiting the sale or transfer of an assault weapon or a large capacity magazine, prohibiting possession of an assault weapon or a large capacity magazine, or requiring certificates of possession for assault weapons or large capacity magazines lawfully possessed before a specific date. So they're going to grandfather in the already owned assault weapons. Another story along the same line, this from Patriot Rising. Basically, they're saying thanks to registration, bureaucrats know who holds which guns and how many, so they don't have to send cops or troops door to door to take them. First, they'll send out letters saying they know what you have and that you have to turn it over by a given deadline or face a penalty, such as asset freezes, in which you would not be able to get money out of your bank account or use your credit cards because your assets are frozen. Or they could take your children, because Child Protective Services is not going to let your children live in a house with potentially dangerous firearms here. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. Remember Laura Loomer, conservative? And apparently back in October, former Florida Republican congressional candidate Laura Loomer slammed the Republican Party leadership for ignoring the tech censorship of conservatives. She was right to do so. And she won her primary, even though she was banned from every major social media platform. Her campaign is also the only one banned from running ads on Facebook. She's been kicked off Twitter, Facebook, Uber, Lyft, PayPal, GoFundMe, and other platforms for her fierce and controversial criticism of Islam. And in a previous post on Parler before it was targeted and taken down, Loomer said, why is the GOP more concerned about the New York Post being denied access to Twitter and Facebook than they are about the fact that Republican candidates for Congress are being denied account access in election year? Well, apparently, recently, Loomer found out she is banned from owning a gun. And despite the fact that she faces constant death threats, she cannot own or possess a firearm for her own personal protection. Her Second Amendment rights have been banned. No explanation given. They just notified her, you're not allowed to have guns here. Okay, we're going to take another break for commercials. When we come on back, we're going to open the phone lines and get some phone calls going.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Is your property a financial burden and causing you grief? Have you tried to sell but can't find buyers? Or are you just too busy to sell your property? Don't worry, we have the right solution for you. We buy properties as is, with cash, close in 30 days, and pay all closing costs. Our service is ideal for property owners who are in pre-foreclosure, have high-end repair costs, experiencing financial hardship, going through costly divorces, are relocating, need cash for retirement, suffering family loss, or have tax liens. Whatever your situation may be, we can help you sell your property and get the money you need. If you own a single-family home or multiple family units, call us for a free consultation at 888-910-1037. That's 888-910-1037. Or visit our website at cashingproperty.com. That's cashingproperty.com. Sell your property fast and leave all your worries behind.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new Ease Off Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The Ease Off lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the Ease Off? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my Ease Off?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows too. Ease Off LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
Forced to carry his own cross while we drive nails in his coffin. You might say it is routine. It happens far too often. A decorated soldier, veteran of the war. Who would have thought that he would be among the sick and poor? Preacher man wags his head while the rich man turns away.
Welcome back to the show here. And again, a reminder, the phone lines are open. Area code 512-248-8252. And we're going to go to the phones to Peter in Los Angeles. Hello, Peter. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Well, Mike, I really like your moniker of his fraudulency.
Yes.
I heard another good one today for Kamala Harris, calling her Chlamydia Harris.
Okay.
I like it. I'm going to use it. But
Okay.
at any rate, I wanted to say that yesterday, I believe it was Mark mentioned that Obama had replaced all of the U.S. attorneys, the first act that he did.
Yes.
And that was back, but that only followed suit. The person who was the first to do that was Bill Clinton in '92, when the very first thing he did was fire every single U.S. attorney and replace them all with people of his own. And for people out there who don't know what the Department of Justice, I'm sure everybody's figured it out by now, but it's been that way for years. The Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the U.S. attorneys are there. They're appointed and they're there to protect the sitting president from any sort of legal accountability, and they're there to persecute the enemies of the sitting president. And that's the same thing. Clinton took it to a new level, and I think I said before, he reversed the old Clausewitzian saying that, war is politics by other means, and he reversed it back, saying politics is war by other means. Now Bush didn't do it, and to his, credit, frankly, and Trump did not do that, and it killed him. But when they put all these people in there, and I mentioned yesterday that Obama had purged the high command of the military of scores of generals and admirals. And for all of you guys out there who've never been in, these generals and admirals, they write the efficiency report for the people who report directly to them. So they're the senior endorser for at least 2 or 3 levels below them. So with a bad efficiency report, nobody gets promoted, right? If you get a bad efficiency report from the senior rater, you're not promoted. And so in this way, of course, like-minded generals and admirals rise to the top, and the other ones don't get promoted. It's the same thing they do, obviously, when you replace all the U.S. attorneys. The people they appoint to the most high profile and the best cases and so on and so forth are the ones most likely to rise after that. And so it's a self-perpetuating mechanism that these deep state scum use. And when you combine that with the Soros, ever since 2008 or so, all his getting all the prosecuting attorneys and
Peter, can I put you on hold?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold. Don't hang up. We got to take a break for station identification, and we will be right back.
Extendivite 7-herb formulation is approved to help maintain cardiovascular health and help lower blood lipid levels in adults. Extendivite is made from hawthorn, garlic, valerian, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, and milk thistle. The herbs in Extendivite have been chosen for their ability to help with overall health. Many people have reported improved energy and stamina in just a few months. If you think you could feel just a little bit better, then Extendivite may just be for you. Extendivite is an all-natural supplement. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network because you can handle the truth.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero, because World War III is a really bad idea. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
Welcome back to our show here in hour number 2. The phone lines are open. Area code 512-248-8252. We're talking with Peter in Los Angeles, who's talking about the self-perpetuating machine over at the Department of Justice and the U.S. attorneys. And, obviously, I don't think the Department of Justice, U.S. attorneys were replaced to necessarily prosecute Clinton's enemies. It was to make sure that Clinton himself was not prosecuted for all that was going on, such as what was happening in Mena, Arkansas.
Well, Mike, I disagree with you about
Okay.
They were there to persecute his enemies, and we're there to disagree. But if he wanted something done, he had a sympathetic ear from the local district U.S. attorney and got it. And when all this has been self-perpetuating, and it grows. They plant these seeds like ticks into the system, and they bring up their proteges beneath them. And I was also beginning to talk about George Soros and how he, since at least 2008 or so, has been funding all the district attorney races and many judgeships. And a lot of people aren't aware that 90% of all judges in the United States are elected just like every other politician, and they're as scummy as any other politician.
Yeah.
And so the left has taken over this complete process. And I also sent you, and by the way, I love that when you talked about it earlier today, when you said that he for his antitrust people or whatever, he brought in all the people from big tech.
Yes, the lawyers.
All the lawyers who, frankly, that's one of the reasons why we're here to begin with, is because big tech is a monopoly, and they'll never allow anybody to be to take away their monopoly on what we see and hear and read and everything else. And then we have, and I sent you this article this morning. I believe I sent it to you 3 times. That it was out of the Jewish Forward. All the Israeli firsters who are in the Biden cabinet.
Yes.
From his. Did you run that, Mike?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it, because that's an important one. From his chief of staff to the Secretary of State to the Secretary of Defense to the Attorney General to the transgender Health and Human Services. It's really a guy, but says she's a woman. I mean, on and on and on. And even going down to the second husband, Chlamydia's husband, who is Jewish as well.
Okay.
But again, these people will put below them all their like travelers, all their Israeli firsters, and by the way, also the head of national intelligence and the director of the CIA. Also the head of cyber security for the country is a Jewish woman. All these people are Israeli firsters. These are Biden's appointees. And these are ticks in the system, but it's a new kind of tick. Not only are they're left-leaning fellow travelers and so on and so forth, but they're specific left-leaning fellow travelers, and they're from the same tribe that owns the big media. They all own.
I know who they are.
Owns the banks and controls the currency we have, controls everything we read, see, and hear. Now they control everything else. And with that, I just want to. It's day one. It's day one. I want everybody to start out knowing what's going on. So that's it for me, Mike. I just wanted to say my piece and get off.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the phone call. We're going to switch over to Miles in Maine. Hello, Miles. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, aloha, Michael. I was wondering, who do you think is going to be Biden's choice for Secretary of Sex Change?
I have no idea, but I think he's already got two transgenders in his.
I think what's her name, Jenner, has got it in the bag with 5 Olympic golds.
Yes.
Running away with it. But listening to Biden, I could have swore today I was listening to the Ministry of Truth. I mean, it was just what an experience this thing was, and
yeah.
The way referring to this democracy and this, and to think we're going to hear at least 4 years of this, and it's just absolutely preposterous. You could say whatever you want about Trump, but I mean, he was a dynamic speaker. He didn't pull those crowds in for nothing.
True.
And this is going to be dull Joe, senile Joe. It's going to be all kinds of Joe, but it's going to be a disaster for America.
Yes, it is.
Just that outline of what he was saying is so the antithesis of anything American. I don't know which way we're going to turn with this. They're saying Trump wants to start another party. Honestly, myself, I'd like to see the end of all parties. I don't want to see any more parties because that's where it all starts when these national committees start these agendas for perpetuating legislation. When the RNC and the DNC, give these demands down to these local step and fetches that, do their bidding for them.
Yes.
So I'd like to see the end actually of all parties and just give us the best man, let us know what he's about, and that's it. But, and for fellows like our friend there in North Carolina and some of these people that bang on Trump all the time, he's never done nothing. There's another guy up in, I think he's from Maryland. He's real happy about spending his stimulus checks and things like that, but Trump's never done nothing, But we're going to find out exactly how much Trump has done now. That's the one good thing I see about this, because every time something comes along, they're going to say, and he turned this Trump, legislation or initiative around. Look, we're turning this around. So we're going to find out exactly how effective Trump was with doing some of these things. And a little bit of it's come out. There's talk about the 300 federal judgeship appointees. And that may be possibly maybe one of the few things that saves us, because with this stuff I'm hearing, Michael, if you go before one of these courts, you don't have any rights. You're not going to have anything. And what's this Cortez now? She wants to find a way. We've got to get rid of the First Amendment. I mean,
yeah,
this is just this lame brain nonsense. And the thing about it is, these things that you would think would be absolutely impossible and not even thought of are becoming reality routinely. This is the scary part to me.
Yes.
So I don't know. This is going to be a heck of this first 30 days. It's just going to be one unbelievable experience. But Michael, thanks for being out there, and I'm going to let you go and listen to another one of your great shows.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the phone call. We're going to switch to Mark in North Carolina. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind? Mark, are you there? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
I just heard my name by Miles there, Well, you know what? I think I'm happy that Biden is president, or the great imposter, whatever you want to call him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm going to say it again. Trump has himself to blame.
I agree.
How he cleaned out the U.S. attorneys, how Obama cleaned out, and Clinton also cleaned out the U.S. attorneys when they took over. He didn't do anything close to it. He didn't get a attorney general that would work with him. he kept on making one mistake after another as far as that went. And
Yep.
then, of course, now he's even given us this horrible vaccine. And that brings me to what I really wanted to talk to you about. I have a friend of mine down in Texas, and he had COVID recently. You know, he got over it. Mother got it too. She got over it, right? He's got a friend now that took the vaccine. I don't know how he got it, because I thought it was only supposed to be for the very old and for medical workers. But anyway, he got it, and sure enough, he's got Bell's palsy. I'm saying he got the vaccine, not the COVID. He's got Bell's palsy. This is a dangerous vaccine.
Yes, it is.
It's disgusting. And again, if Biden wasn't such a senile old fool, he just used this. He wants to make Trump look bad. That's all he's got to do. Who brought this thing? And I also heard something that in California they stopped the not the Pfizer one. The what's the other one? They're all the same, I think.
No, it's the begins with an M. Moderna.
Stopped the Moderna one. Yeah, I heard it from David Knight. He's got a new show now, you know, online. And he said the California stopped because they're having so many bad reactions.
Yes.
This thing is, I'm not going to say this is a turkey. This is a monster. This thing is devastating. And boy, oh boy, I'm trying to convince my kids not to get it. You know, my sons, they say, once it's available, I said, do not take it. Please do not take it. I beg you don't take it. I beg anybody don't take it. This thing is a monster. And hopefully it'll be taken offline pretty soon. And another thing, too, I heard this thing about this, was the representative from Florida or something about the guns?
Yes.
The states need to make a stand. Say, you know what? You're not going to do this. You're not going to attack the Second Amendment. It'll be a sanctuary. Every state should have the sanctuary.
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 states that have already passed laws saying no state assets will be used as part of federal gun confiscation control situations.
Yeah, but they've got to stop. They've got to stop the feds from even coming in. They've
Yes.
got to say, no, you're not going to come in here. You're not going to do this. And like you just said, if banks take people's money, you know, decide they won't let you take your money out or something like that, they got to clamp down on those banks. And it's another good thing, folks. Use local banks. Don't use these big international banks. Okay? Your local banks less likely to, you know, mess over you one way or the other. Because I'm telling you, this is going to be rough. This is going to be a rough 4 years.
Yes.
I don't know if this country is going to survive as one country, actually. It wouldn't surprise me to see us break up into 2 or maybe more nations, because this is really, I don't think this country has ever been threatened like this before, Mike. I really don't.
I absolutely agree. The country's tearing itself apart. I think it could break into 3 chunks. There'd be the West Coast liberals, the East Coast liberals, and then the center of the country, conservatism. They could form 3 nations.
But you know the problem. One of the problems with that, Mike, is this: a lot of these countries are, a lot of these states, you may have, like, say, for instance, California. The coastal cities of California, sure, they're all, ultra-liberal, communist, whatever else. But what are you going to do with the center and the eastern parts of these states? Same thing as Oregon and Washington. People may not want to go along with that, you know, if you split the states up that way.
Well, I'm sure it would be negotiated, but you know, we're hearing, you know, a lot of states like Texas are openly talking about secession. I think it's even going to be a ballot initiative in one place.
Yeah, but even in Texas, you got now some of the biggest cities in Texas, like Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin. They're almost like California right now. I don't know what they're going to do with those big cities of theirs. It's just a mess. This country is a mess. They might have to say, look, you want to be part of Texas, you be part of Texas. If you want to get out, go.
Yes.
Don't let the door hit you nowhere.
You know, remember what happened when India broke free from British control and Pakistan split off?
Oh,
you know,
right.
and there was a huge migration that took place.
Yeah. Oh, that could happen too. I mean, there's no telling where this is going. I mean, bad news. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Shame. greatest country in the world, no longer the greatest country in the world. I'm not
No,
gonna,
we haven't
I'm
been for quite some time.
I was listening to Tom Luongo earlier, one of his podcasts, and he thinks Russia is the future of the world right now, economically and other ways. You know, they're in much better
Could be
shape than
Russia,
we
could
are
be
economically.
China.
China's a good possibility too, but China is such a dictatorship. You know, I don't know if, how long the people are going to put up with that. But I don't know, Mike, all I can say is it's horrible. Okay, we've got this is terrible. You know, everybody knows this election was stolen. I mean, there's not much debate about it. And right away, this guy wants to, you know, start trouble. He wants to go off, or the Democrats want to start trouble, you know?
Yes.
Good thing the Congress, the House is very close now. I mean, probably wouldn't be that easy to push anything through there. And even the Senate, there might be enough Democratic senators with enough common sense that wouldn't let some of these proposals go through, you know? But
I don't know. These days, the Democrats all seem to be marching in lockstep, and they may not join the chorus of the squad, but you know, they all do seem to be following similar agendas.
I mean, you know, one thing about the squad is not going to go along with this Zionist policy either. And by the way, that's one, before I go, I just want to make something clear though, Laura Luma. I see a lot of people saying, oh, she's a Zionist, she's this and that. I don't care what she is. They can do that to her, what they do to Laura Luma. They can do it to anybody else. Understand that, folks. All right? This woman is having her rights taken away from her simply because she speaks out and she ran for political office and probably won that race too. It was probably, you know, somehow they figured a way to take it away from her. It's down in the, you know, southern Florida there, very corrupt. So I believe she probably won that race. Whatever the case is, she doesn't deserve what she's getting. And
No, she doesn't.
Her, we should all say we're all Laura Luma right now. Okay?
Yeah.
So, all right? I don't care if she's a Zionist or what kind of ist she is. She's an American. She has certain rights under our Constitution, and it shouldn't be deprived. All right, Mike, that's it for me. Thanks.
All right, thanks for the phone call. We're going to go to Al in Canada. And Al, what's on your mind?
Hey, Mike. Wow, great calls. When Peter was talking about the Department of Justice, he should have said just us.
Yes.
Because it more closely resembles what's going on in that place, as well as, you know, all the other alphabet soup and agencies. So there's did you mention anything about the attendance with this Biden inauguration, Mike?
Yeah, there were 10 times more soldiers than people.
Yeah, well, even the views on YouTube, Trump's farewell speech, you know, got way more. Even on CNN,
yes,
him departing for the last time got 1 million views. So, I mean, how can anybody think that this is anything other than the country's been usurped by this Soros purple revolution crapola once again?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's the whole purple theme with those women.
Yes.
And a couple of them are really big crooks, especially that Hildebeest. She's horrible. The whole Bill Clinton and the Hillary Clinton and the Arkansas and the governor and you know, the head maid was found. Her body was found exhumed from where it was buried, and they found that she was pregnant.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
People
I remember
forget
that
this sort of thing.
I remember that one.
People forget this stuff. So, you know, a lot of people don't like the red pill, Mike, because it scares them. They hate that. They hate that with the passion. They hate seeing the videos of, let's say, you know, the cops or the guards or whatever, just allowing people to storm the Capitol. And all the while, you can see the videos of people going, come on, you know, showing them where to go. They don't like seeing that sort of thing. It makes their heads explode. Their whole belief structure is just in danger.
Oh, absolutely.
So they deny it. Yeah, it's insanity. You know what, Mike? I'm going to go, but You know what I would like for you to do, if you could?
What's
I
that?
can even email it to you. I would like you to post that Balfour Declaration.
Okay, we posted it in the past, but go ahead and send it, and I'll put it up again. And thank you very much for the phone call. I'm going to have to let you go. We've got to take a commercial break, and we will be back with more phone calls after these few words.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and the Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
We will not go down in the night without a fight. You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight.
Welcome back to our show here. We're going to go back to the phones to Kelly in Austin. Hello, Kelly. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Well, it's a horrible day for the Republic, Mike.
Yes, it is.
As of the swearing in or the installation of Xi Jinping's puppet in Washington, D.C., the United States has become a vassal state of the People's Republic of China. I can't put it any other way. That's exactly what we've become. And things are going to get bad now because the regime knows that we all know that they stole that damn election. You're right. They will attempt to institute a dictatorship in order to make everyone toe the line. I think it's going to backfire on them. But still, the
Yeah.
damage has been done. The damage has been done.
Yes.
Now, earlier on, you were talking about email or various other means of security or privacy on the internet.
Yes.
And I wanted to recommend a different browser to use. I typically use the Brave browser, which is a very good browser.
Yes, it
It's
is.
also the Epic privacy browser. But I also recommend the Yandex browser, which is a Russian
Yes.
browser.
Yes, it is.
And Yandex Mail, which is encrypted.
And Yandex also has a
all three of
search
those.
engine now.
Yes, I use that too. It's a
Yes.
very good search engine. And so I find that the Russian products are outstanding products. I have no problems with them. I also recommend that people get a VPN, download a VPN, start the VPN before you click on one of your browsers, and then work. And the ones I recommend are NordVPN and Proton VPN.
Mm-hmm.
They don't keep records, and so, and I know they work because I've tested it out before. I've gotten onto. I started off on say Proton VPN, and I go to say Iceland or some other country, and I'll go to YouTube, and I get a message: this video cannot play in your country. Okay.
Yes.
And I can check it off against the IP address that I'm on there, and I know that they think that's actually where I'm coming from. Now, that may be, you may have to do that if Biden and his people decide they're going to crack down on the internet. This is how people in China get onto on the web. They somehow find a way to get a VPN. They get onto the VPN, and then they get onto the internet, and they can visit sites that are outlawed in China. And I think people are going to have to do that in the United States as well. So
I think we probably
look
are.
for different browsers. Yeah, look for different browsers. Look for Brave. The Epic Privacy browser is a very good browser. And then there's the Yandex browser. And also look at the Yandex email. But get the hell off of these major these major browsers. Cut ties with Google.
Yes.
And Gmail, and just tell them to go to hell. Period. Okay. I had one other thing to tell you, and I think I forgot what it is here. So let me let you move on to somebody else.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the phone call. We're going to switch over to Gary in Arkansas. And Gary, I'm probably going to have to take you through the next commercial break. What's on your mind today?
Secession and a two-party system.
Okay.
When I retired, I drove over 214,000 miles in a little over 14 months all over this country delivering travel trailers.
Yes.
And the idea of succession and breaking this beautiful country up into pieces makes me absolutely ill. The varied scenery and the varied climate and all the other stuff put together, it's just not right to think of breaking this huge country up into
Well,
small pieces.
I'm not fond of the idea myself, but if the only other option is a bloody civil war between liberals and conservatives, I think balkanization, fewer people are going to die.
Well, that goes now into the two-party system. I don't know if people understand it, but the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are privately held corporations. They select who they want, and we have to choose between Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I think
No, it's Tweedledum and Tweedledummer.
Yeah. I think rather than breaking the country up, I think the third party thing would be a better option. And forget
I'm
whether
talking
you're
about it.
Republican or Democrat. Let's just call it the American Party. Do away with this binary system they forced us into.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about all I got to say.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you
for
very
my
much.
call.
All right, you got it here, and we're timing here. We're almost to the commercial break here. If you're living in California, Southern California, you're about to get a deluge. I know it's been a lot of dry weather there, but they're saying nearly 2 years worth of rainfall is possible in parts of Southern California over the next week. We're going to take a break for commercials. We'll be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Extendivite 7-herb formulation is approved to help maintain cardiovascular health and help lower blood lipid levels in adults. Extendivite is made from hawthorn, garlic, valerian, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, and milk thistle. The herbs in Extendivite have been chosen for their ability to help with overall health. Many people have reported improved energy and stamina in just a few months. If you think you could feel just a little bit better, then Extendivite may just be for you. Extendivite is an all-natural supplement. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. We here at RBN are working with Front Sight Firearms Training Institute to bring our audience the best in combat, tactical, and defensive firearms training. Whether you're a private citizen who is new to firearms or you have a concealed weapon permit and want a level of training that surpasses what you've received from your local gun range, Front Sight provides priceless education and skills taught by seasoned law enforcement, military, and private citizen instructors to levels that far exceed law enforcement and military standard. With nearly 1 million responsible citizens trained from every town, city, and state from across the United States, Front Sight has bolstered the Patriot movement to a whole new level. Contact Dan Sutterfield by phone at 573-762-2356 or 573-465-2356 or shoot him an email at domedan, DOMEDAN @hotmail.com. This is a limited time opportunity. Don't miss it.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
What this country is coming to, I sure would like to know. If they don't do something by and by, the rich will live and the poor will die. Doggone, I mean the panic is on. Can't get no way.
Welcome back to our show here, and we're going to go to Joe in California. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
You got Marco in Alabama, sir.
Oh, you're Marco in Alabama. Okay, my mistake. Marco, what's on your mind today?
Mike, you had a caller on yesterday that made an observation that really resonated with me.
Yes.
The caller was Mike in California, and he made a comment that said, when has voting Republican ever moved things socially to the right? Man, and yesterday, I think you misunderstood him when you said in response, when people get tired of Democrats. I thought about this, and there was a time when, you know, we could have taken the culture from the left. The time period was between when John McCain died and George W. Bush died. Everybody in the country believed, dude, that the Russian hoax was fake because it got proven fake. There was no coronavirus or anything like that. I think, dude, that we totally failed to captivate the minds of young America. Turning Point USA, you know, if you're to bring minorities and young people, dude, into the Republican Party totally failed because basically we clashed over, you know, media censorship. Trump's media summit in 2017 was a total flop, dude. And we were sitting there trying to bring him reality. The young people in America were trying to bring him reality, and the Republican establishment squashed it down. What we have here in this country is we have, you know, a very, you know, varied difference, dude, of opinion, dude, in this country, dude, where it's to the point, dude, where we cannot live together anymore. I mean, I do not want to live around liberals, dude. I don't want to participate in anything that is liberal or anything like that. I mean, we have, you know, being conservative takes discipline and the ability, dude, to humble yourself, dude, and think about future generations prior, you know, not littering on the streets, throwing cigarette butts on the ground, throwing garbage out of your car, dude, on the highway. I mean, you know, to be a Christian, you know, takes effort, you know, to be able to get up every Sunday and to be able to give of yourself, dude. And, you know, liberals don't want to give of themselves. I mean, yeah, dude, certain ones will and things like that, dude, but not very many. I mean, what we have here is, you know, today has been nothing but being inundated with Bolshevik propaganda, Satanist propaganda, foreign immigrant propaganda. I mean, we never move things socially, dude, because our own people in our own country are radically different from us. And you know, you have, you know, your, you know, succubus class of liberals, you know, deadbeat, leeching, slave of the system liberals. And then you have your predatorial, parasite, elitist Republicans and liberals, man, that are just attacking us, dude. And they just show us every day their disdain and lament for humanity when there's effective people, you know, who are always taken for granted. And that's all of us, dude. All of us, dude, who supported Donald Trump, dude. All of us, dude, who have been the backbone of America, dude, sitting there catching these people every time that the bottom is about to fall out. Man, let's let the bottom fall out. Screw these people, man. We need to separate from them. We need to have a separate economy. We need to forget, taking, separate, basically, dude, annexing parts of the country away. Dude, let their stuff fall apart, and then let's come in there and take it over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Dude, if you sit here and you think, dude, that this Biden regime, dude, is going to last, man, these people are all sharks. They're all going to eat each other. And as soon as, Biden slips up, dude, the first time, and something major goes wrong, dude, like checks don't get distributed or something like that, dude, even their own people are going to turn against him. I mean, what we did, to try to instill, the battle of the culture war, we totally failed because we never sit here and take on issues, dude, that are relevant to this dumbed down population. I mean, Donald Trump could have won votes, dude, if he would have legalized weed. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, it goes against our principles and all that stuff, man, because I really think, dude, that a lot of these liberals shouldn't be on any drugs or anything like that. But, that would have, increased the landslide. I mean, we need to get with the times. And Turning Point USA failed because nobody wanted to hear our opinion. I'm 35 years old. And I voted Republican for being a liberal, dude, but I bypassed, the conservative establishment, to the normie conservatives, because they won't protest. And I'm sorry, dude, because people didn't protest. People didn't get up. People didn't defend this country, dude, and all that stuff. That's why we're now in the occupied United States of socialist America. And now you guys are going to learn, dude, to get up off of your butt, dude, instead of saying, I'm just going to go to my job. All of you, dude, are going to get out on the corners and all that stuff, man, and beat these people down, dude, with signs and protests now, because now you have nothing left. Now you're going to be in competition, dude, with illegal immigrants, dude, because that border is getting flooded. I don't care what Joe Biden says, dude. They are going to rush in because they know, dude, that they want to get their little pieces of the pie, dude, before the ship goes down, and that there will be no different, dude, than any other freaking country. And you people better get it right, dude. And get ready to defend yourself, dude. Especially if you're white in America, dude. Because I'm tired of watching, white people sit here and get beat down in the streets and cower. And I got to get out of my truck, dude, to sit here and help them. Man, you better defend yourself, and you better get it right.
Okay, well, all good information, and thank you for the phone call. We're going to switch over to Joe in California. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, that was a very, very good call from Marco.
Yes.
Welcome to the Rivero Resistance, Marco. It's good to have you on board.
Okay.
Mike, I got in a little late. Was Steve Pieczenik right? Did the resistance prevent Biden from taking the oath?
Unfortunately, no. Steve has a great deal of.
This was the first time he was ever wrong. Oh, well, maybe next time. Next time. Mike, I called Bed Bath & Beyond today and spoke to one of their salespeople, and I said, please tell, and I asked them first if they carried the MyPillow, and they said, no, we don't. I said, was this because of the political statements that were made by the founder? Yes. I said, okay, well, and a lot of people should do this because we have to use leverage our economic power and push back against these woke corporations. I said, and I was being honest. I said, I was going to come in there. I was going to buy a new trash can, some bed sheets, a utensil holder, some towels. It was going to be a big purchase, but I'm not coming in today, and I'm never coming in because this is not the America that I grew up in, where you can just cancel companies from your suppliers. I said, please tell your supervisor, please tell the honchos in the corporate offices they lost a very big sale, and they're going to lose a lot more big sales in the future if this continues.
Well, one of the articles about Mike Lindell on whatreallyhappened.com actually has a list of contact numbers that you can use. And yeah, it would be good for everybody to let these companies know, Macy's, Kohl's, Bed Bath & Beyond, that we're not going to shop in their store anymore. Because
absolutely, and I'm going to send an email too. I'm going to send an email to the Bed Bath & Beyond corporate office. But I'm not even a fan of. I think this guy Mike Lindell is a Zionist, but I don't care about that. I don't care if he's a MAGA supporter because I wasn't a big Trump supporter. It's just the principle. You just can't cancel people like that.
Now,
and I'm not going to stand for that.
Macy's and Kohl and Bed Bath & Beyond have changed their story. The story now is they dropped the brand because of a decline in consumer demand. So that's their cover story now.
What a coincidence. What a coincidence. Yes. And Mike, my penultimate point, Marco was talking about the young people and maybe how Trump fumbled the ball or whatever, but young people don't care about freedom of speech and privacy anymore. They were born in a post 9/11 country, a post Patriot Act country. They have their personal devices and they're happy. I've been saying all along the most. I think I'd like to get a T-shirt made up or hats made up for these young people that says, "Who needs freedom when we got Netflix?"
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, that's the problem. These young people, they don't care. They're comfortable with their devices. And then as far as what one of the ladies yesterday, and I keep hearing Trump was a businessman. He was a businessman. Look, he was a political player. He had contacts with both parties.
Yes.
So he knew the figures. That's why I don't buy it. I think everybody should go to Richie Allen's Podomatic site and listen to his monologue from January 7. It was brilliant regarding Trump, regarding identity politics. I really believe, I think not me, because I wasn't a big MAGA supporter, but I think all these MAGA supporters were played. They were played. Trump was controlled. He was controlled opposition. He was in that establishment swamp camp. That's my belief. Yeah. I think all the callers who swear to Trump, I think they've been played. And maybe it'll take a while for them to admit it, but they've been played. Even the Supreme Court justices that he selected, many people point to that as one of his biggest accomplishments. They were worthless to him. Where were they when these cases were brought forward?
They ran.
They ran, right, because they're establishment whores, every last one of them. Barrett, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, they're all establishment whores. So with that, Trump left us nothing. It's funny. George W. Bush gave us Obama. Donald Trump gave us Joe Biden. And I mean, yes, the election was probably stolen, but still, it was just the chaos, the tweets. I'm glad to see him gone. Yes, I'm not happy to see Biden, but you know what? As Richie Allen said, they're all puppets of the same people. Donald Trump and Joe Biden are controlled by the very same people. And that's all I want to say. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thanks an awful lot for the phone call. And we're going to switch over to Mary in Virginia. Hello, Mary. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hello, Mike and Claire.
Well, Claire's in the other room.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Well, hello.
Hello.
How is Indiana?
Well, we had a little snow earlier in the week. It's a bit warmer now. They're predicting more snow next week. We have all kinds of wildlife in the backyard, and Claire's very happy here.
I love her to death. I love you too.
Well, thank you.
Love you as much as I love her.
Well,
okay.
We're not in competition, you know.
Well, no, because you're one. When you got married, you're one, right?
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are, sir. God bless you.
Thank you.
Love all your colors. You're magnificent. And keep it on, you know, because you didn't sell out, Mike. A lot of us never sold out.
Yes.
Right?
That's why we're so poor.
Yeah, no shit.
Yep.
I mean, we have a little bit of
watch
wealth,
your language.
but, pardon, Mr. Sir?
Please watch your language on this radio.
Okay, pardon me?
You're pardoned.
About selling
Your
out?
penance is 10 Hello Dollies and 5 Bloody Marys.
Okay. You're funny. You're really into it.
Yes.
Okay, we overreached the inner soul of our lives when we said no, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to do it. How many of these people that people adore have sold out, right?
Yes.
We didn't, did we?
No, we didn't. And
No.
yes.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, you didn't sell out, did you?
Nope.
Yeah. And that's why you're poor as shit, right?
Please watch your language. I'm going to have to hang up on you.
Well, you know, it's like, you know, right?
Yeah, I know you're
You know
right.
that?
I would rather you phrase it slightly differently.
Okay, how do I phrase it?
Church mice. Poor as church mice. That's a good phrase.
Poor as what?
Church mice.
I love you to death. I love you, and you're, you know, you get married, right? And you're one. You're not Claire and Mike. I love Claire. I love Mike. You're one.
Okay.
Claire makes Mike. Mike makes Claire, right?
Okay. Well, Mary, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for the phone call. And we're going to switch over to Ken in New York. Hello, Ken. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yes, I just want to talk for a second about browsers, and I use the Proton, and I think I'm going to try the VPN soon.
Yes.
And if you liked Opera, if anybody liked Opera, I've been using it for 20 years. It did get sold to the Chinese several years ago. It still works pretty good, but one of the developers, I think it's in Sweden, came out with something called Vivaldi. And it works exactly the same on Windows as it does on Linux on my Raspberry. And it is very, very fast. I don't have any problems with it. It actually runs faster than Opera does.
Okay.
So considering what Mozilla's been doing, they've said that they're going to start using Firefox, which doesn't run well. It's really overloaded. And
Yeah, I used to use Firefox. I don't anymore because it bogged down. I'm getting word from David Crucial Nonsense. Vivaldi is very stable. The issue I had with Chrome before I dropped that is it's a resource hog. I mean, if you bring up your process monitor, you'll see dozens and dozens of Chrome processes executing. It just sucks up everything in your system.
Well, I've been using Vivaldi for about a year now, and it seems to be very fast. It doesn't freeze, and it's amazing what it can do on a Linux machine. It runs considerably faster doing a download than on a Windows machine that's twice the clock speed.
Well, I'm going to be getting a Linux machine really, really soon because this Windows machine is starting to annoy me. And, you know, I'll be looking at all of that Linux-based replacements for what I use to do the show and everything.
They have hard drive drawers now that work very well. They work much better than the old IDE ones.
Yes.
I've gotten several SATA drives, and I put them on a drawer, and you can just snap them in and out with a different operating system.
Yeah, I know I could turn this into a dual boot machine, but it's also very old, and you know, I'm not expecting it to last much longer. So I'm just going to get a new Linux system and work with that. Anyway, listen, Ken, I got to let you go.
Thank you.
We've got one more commercial break here, then the final segment of our program. 2 more callers waiting on the line. We will be right back.
Hello, I'm Dr. Leonard Horowitz. I was right 30 years ago in warning the world about threatening lab virus outbreaks, AIDS, and Ebola. I was right 20 years ago when FBI Director Robert Mueller made me a suspect in the anthrax mailings because I warned the Bureau before the CIA's biocrime and Cipro sales psyops happened. I was right about COVID-19 being an AIDS-laced mutagen planned to resurge this fall to excuse officials' profitable depopulation globalization agendas. And I was right about the only safeguards being antioxidants and holy spiritual sustenance. Vitamin C, D, zinc, chlorophyll, oxygen, and oxysilver especially transmits the frequency resonance to neutralize the expanded function bioweapon. Oxysilver is a double superconductor of the healing power of love. It is the first nutraceutical invented to amplify prayer power and the faithful loving intention of your heart. Buy, try, and stockpile Oxysilver through HealthyWorldStore.com.
Extendivite 7-herb formulation is approved to help maintain cardiovascular health and help lower blood lipid levels in adults. Extendivite is made from hawthorn, garlic, valerian, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, and milk thistle. The herbs in Extendivite have been chosen for their ability to help with overall health. Many people have reported improved energy and stamina in just a few months. If you think you could feel just a little bit better, then Extendivite may just be for you. Extendivite is an all-natural supplement. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Please view, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stop terrorism. Please contact us if you or anyone you know who wants to be on our show at thetruthpharmacy@gmail.com. Keep it real. Take the red pill.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Born in the
the city with a silver spoon. Great-grandson of the oil tycoon, raised by wolves, thinks he owns the moon. Socialist banker to the one world goons. Davy Rockefeller, chairman of the CFR.
Welcome back to our show. Last segment of our program today. We're going to go back to the phones to Laura in Colorado. Hello, Laura. Thank you for waiting patiently. What's on your mind today?
Hi, Mike. Well, I wanted to respond to what one of the callers had said earlier about the MyPillow and Mike Lindell. I want to let everybody know they're having a sale right now on their queen-size pillows, cheapest ever, for $29.95. So somebody's wanting to buy a pillow or give one as a gift. I think to save money right now would be the best time to get that. And those pillows are pretty good. I've heard of people talk about them. I'm going to order some for my house. But anyway, I just kind of want to throw that out there and let everybody know those pillows are on sale. During this time that I observed the rioting and the COVID and the entire thing that was brought about to take down President Trump, one of the things I noticed was that most of the people in the Republican Party suddenly became Tibetan monks.
Yes.
When cities were burning, all they wanted to do was run around like Moonies, handing out flowers and handing out like Buddhist monks. Oh, we are nonviolent. And they literally stood in the corner. I would scream at people, you know, if people come down your street and are rioting,
yes,
I'm going to be very honest with you. Anyone coming down in front of my street rioting and they're going to burn our farms, they're going to be killed instantly.
Yes.
There will be nobody sitting here, standing in a corner, sucking their thumb, peeing their pants, turning around and around in a corner saying, they're cheating, they're cheating, they're cheating. No, 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 no. The absolute turning into Tibetan monks and becoming extreme pacifists while all this was going on in our country has led us to where we are today.
It backfired on them horribly.
I am a daughter of the American Revolution, and I can tell you right now that my family, my ancestors did not stand in a corner peeing their pants and sucking their thumb. They
Mine
got up
neither.
and they dealt with the situation. They lost everything they had, but they fought the Revolutionary War.
All right. Well, Laura, I'm there, and I'm thanking you for the call, and I'm going to try and squeeze one more call in before the end of the show. So let's go to Doreen in Vancouver. Hello, Doreen. What's on your mind today?
Oh, hi. Yeah, it's about Trump. He's not finished yet. Everybody settle down. He's not done. He's not done. Who's running the Washington, D.C. now is the military. They've been behind Trump all the way along. And there was another in Madrid, in Spain, there was another explosion. Because when Trump goes in to those tunnels where they're keeping those children and everybody else, he doesn't just leave. He blows them up so they can't be used again. And people have to realize Trump will be back. He's not done. He's going to put them he's going to use the TV and put the next week or so, he's going to put all the confessions that all what they've done traitor against the U.S.
Well, Doreen, he better use independent media because the corporate media won't cover it. I have to let you go. The music is playing. The show is over. The show is over. Thank you very much. And stay tuned for John Stadmiller. I'm sure he's got lots of interesting things to share with you. Please spread the word of Republic Broadcasting. Spread the word of whatreallyhappened.com. Please donate. We'll see you tomorrow. Aloha, America.